Hello everyone, thank you for joining me on Everything Aero Pilates. Today I wanted to discuss which machine is right for you. So this is if you don't already have a machine and you're trying to figure out which one to buy. Now if you already have a machine, I explained in some other videos, there's really no need to upgrade unless you really just want to and you have the money for that right now. Then go ahead and have at it. But there's no real need to upgrade because even the 3-cord has really good capabilities and there are things that you can do to it to make it more to your liking if you're considering upgrading from a 3-cord. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about what each of these are. This is a 3-cord reformer. You can see that it does not have pulley risers. And this is one of the earlier reformers. This is a 4-cord reformer. It's 4 black cords, but now the 4 cords that you can get from HSN or on eBay or on Amazon, they will have the colored cords, which is 2 black, 1 red, 1 yellow. It comes up to the equivalent of still 4 cords, but this is 4 black cords. This is the model that has the most cords. This is a 5-cord model. These are all very similar, with the exception of the first 5-cord, similar in size and shape. Usually the frame is white as well on a 5-cord, and that has 2 blacks, 2 reds, 1 yellow cord. And this is the premier model, and you can see it is the widest of all of these models. And the head is down here, so what it does is this trapezoid shape up here gives you more room for your hands. When you are taller, these two models have a longer, and not just this model, but any 5-cord, have a longer bed that you lay on. So if your torso is longer, or your head, your neck, and your torso together are longer, you might want the extra 2 inches that these two machines provide. So this would be a 5-cord, again I'm going to link that below, or a premier model. And there's also a 651, which I will also link below. And that's for if you're taller and you just want a little more support for that longer neck and torso area. So if you're short, the carriage on these two models and the smaller frame models are 2 inches shorter. And so what that means is that when you are doing warm-up footwork, you're going to get a full range squat. However, on these, and I'm 5 foot, so I mean, if you're 2 inches taller, it might be a moot point. But because, 5'2", these are 2 inches taller, these two beds. But on these two beds, the 5-cord and the premier model, I don't get the full range of motion. My knees sometimes feel like they're barely squatting. Okay, so I like these two frame sizes better for me. Now that's for height. Now for width, that's a different story. For width, I pretty much cover these 17-inch padding or carriages. So this carriage is 17 inches across, this carriage is 17 inches across, this is 20 inches across, and this is their biggest model, the Premier. It starts at about 21 inches at the shoulders, and it comes up to 23.5 inches. And so that's where your hands are going to be right here. So if my head's upside down, right at this big part is where my hands are going to be, and it's giving me more room to set my hands down by my side. So it's kind of like they call it a trapezoid shape, but they're talking about from the head to pillow to where your rear goes, and your hands can go comfortably by your side in this trapezoid model. So that's another thing. If you're wider, like I said, I use these two frames, and I used this size when I was the 2 sizes bigger. I've gone down 2 sizes. I've lost 20 pounds. I used these two, not these two frames. I've used this size frame and carriage when I was that much bigger, and it was still comfortable. Yes, I hung over and I just had my hands on the side rails here, and I rested them on the rails and did my work. And the reason that's comfortable and the reason I felt comfortable doing that is because there are no pinch points. My hands are protected from any wheels that could run it over. The machine's very well made so that if you're resting your hands underneath on I'm not saying rails, but on the side of this platform right here, you rest your hands and kind of hold on to that while you're doing your workout, you're still going to be very comfortable. So even if you're a wider gal but shorter, I would still recommend these frames. Now if you really want to, if there's like a problem for some reason and you really want to be fully on the frame, you can get these wider carriages. Okay, so shorter, I definitely recommend a thinner frame, and that is a 3-cord frame, and there are a couple 3-cords that have the wider frame, so you're going to have to check, or a smaller 4-cord frame for shorter people. Now for this 5 cord, I use a 20th anniversary 5 cord in my office, and I love it, but I had to perform a hack on it. And the reason I had to do that is, like I said, I was not getting that range of motion. I felt like I was barely squatting down like a pulse and not like a full squat. Whereas these frames, I automatically get my full squat. This 5 cord frame, I'll show you a hack later. If you're short, you can perform on it and you will get your full range of motion. But again, short people, I recommend the smaller frame unless you're really worried about the width. So again, talking about your width, you can be wider than the platform and you will still be comfortable on the machine. But if you just want extra width, go ahead and go with the 5 cord or the Premier model, which is the biggest, widest model. Now I do want to tell you, on the Premier model, when I was 2 sizes larger, I still did not have comfortable rooms for my hands like this. I think I would right now that I lost 2 sizes and 20 pounds, I could probably put my hands on the side there and be a little more comfortable with them resting. But when I was 2 sizes bigger, I still had to go out on the side of the frame of the carriage, right on this side here. And I had to hold there. And again, your hands rest really well there while you're doing your workout. It's just kind of like you hold them and you're holding it like this and you're going through the workout. So even a wider person may not get much more comfort out of the width of the bed than these two. It really depends. You might want to measure yourself before you decide to spend a little more money on these 2 models than these smaller models just because of the width. And what you're going to see is what I saw is that your body's going to change quickly if you are consistent with this machine. If you give it the chance that it deserves, and if you give yourself, really your body, the chance that it deserves, you will start to shrink. So eventually, who knows, maybe we will all fit on these 2 models without having anything hanging off, and maybe our arms will even fit next to our sides. You never know, it can happen. If we're consistent, we'll see. But I was pretty impressed on how quickly I lost those 2 sizes. These are all steel frames, and they are very strong. The things that wear out if you're over 350 pounds will be the wheels, and the cords may not be strong enough to bring you back. So when I'm on any of these models, if I'm on 1 cord and I'm doing any kind of jumping or push off, I really have to squeeze to get back. Or if I'm jumping on 1 cord, I'm floating in the air so long because my weight is keeping the platform heavier and not moving in so smoothly. Where you see Marjolaine use like a yellow cord to jump, and she's going in and out and in and out. But my weight does not allow that. So if you're a little heavier, what you can do, let's say you're 350 pounds and you want this gray one because of the size of the platform, which will eventually get your hands next to your side. You can change out some of those black cords for red cords, and you can up the weight of any of these machines, okay? So I believe, yeah, with the exception, let me think. Yeah, this machine will not be able to do a 350 pound. So a 3 cord, your top weight will be 300 pounds, and that is not because of the machine or the frame, it's only because you can't upgrade enough cords, 2 red cords and 2 black cords. So you would need at least a 4 cord to be able to get to 350 pounds. For this machine here, I've already changed this one out for myself. This has 2 red cords right now that I personally put on, and I did that in a different video, and then I have 2 black cords. So this machine, even though it's rated to hold 300 pounds because of the cords, it's a steel frame, and because I have those 2 red cords on there, it should hold the 350 pounds. This machine holds the 350 pounds. This machine only holds 300, but if I changed it to 2 red cords, I would have that 350 pound limit. All right, so let's recap. If you're taller, you get 2 more inches on the carriage for your neck and your torso. And so these 2 carriages might be a good idea. If you're shorter, you get 2 inches more range in your squats on these 2 smaller models. So if you're a little shorter, even if you're wider, these 2 might be a good idea. Now, if you want more resistance, the 5 cord is obviously the most resistance that you're going to be able to get. Even switching out all the cords, the 5 cord is going to be the equivalent of 7.5 cords, where any of the 4 cords, including this Premier, which is 4 black cords, will only have the equivalent of 6 cords if you replace them all with red. And that's an upgrade. So let's talk about how they come. This 3 cord is absolutely sufficient. And if you have a 3 cord, you have a great machine already. The only thing, the current 3-cord that's available is the 287, and that is, it does not come with a rebounder. And that is a major, major bummer because to upgrade to a rebounder is going to cost you, with tax and shipping and everything, almost $100. And at that price, you might as well get the 4-cord that's available. Unless you just want to spend a little now and spend a little later for that cardio rebounder. But the cardio rebounder is really going to build your endurance cardio-wise. And it's really going to help you burn the fat that you want to burn. So if you're only doing shaping, maybe the 3-cord, and you don't need cardio, maybe you like some other kind of cardio, then that 287 is fine. This particular model is the 270, and it came with a cardio rebounder. And so it's all inclusive, which is really nice. But the other thing that the 3-cords don't have right now I know some older 3-cords have them, but the ones that are available right now do not have the pulley risers down here. And what that means is you don't have the different levels. The pulley risers allow for 5 different levels, which are another way to get resistance. And you also cannot put the pull-up bar on a 3-cord without the pulley risers. Now, I did hear one demonstration with Marjolaine Bergman where she said if you email her, she can help you figure out how to get a pull-up bar on your 3-cord. So her website is lighterliving.com, I believe, and then she'll have a contact area. If you have a 3-cord and you're interested in upgrading to a pull-up bar for the top of your machine, then you can go ahead and email her, and maybe there's a trick or a hack that they have that they can tell you to get that pull-up bar installed. And I'm not sure if I misheard her in that, so don't, just check with her and see if there's a way. But if you're not worried about the pull-up bar, if you're not worried about the different resistance levels of the pulley risers, and if you're not worried about a cardio rebounder, then the 3-cords that are available right now, the 287, and I believe the 266, but that does come with a rebounder, and I think they're sold out right now, then those are going to be fine for you. The second option is your 4-cord. Now, all the small 4-cords right now, they have the black frames, and you have one on HSN that has the black frame with the gray carriage. There is one on Amazon that has a black frame with a purple carriage. There are 3 colors on eBay. They have the purple carriage, the same one that Amazon has. They have the gray carriage, the same one that HSN has. And they have a blue carriage, which is very similar to this blue without the pattern on a black carriage. And all 3 of those models that are available brand new for sale right now, and actually, and StaminaProducts.com does have the gray one as well. All 3 of those have more padding than this older 4-cord. So it's a great option. All 3 of those come with your rebounder, and they come with the pulley risers so that you have those 5 resistance, and you can upgrade later at some other time to a pull-up bar. So those are the 4-cords that are available right now. As for 5-cords available right now, there are only 2 models left from the authorized seller that I buy from as return refurbished. So you're going to save big money, a couple $100 if you buy return refurbished from the seller below until those are gone. So they have a purple model, just almost like this one, except with black writing here. And then they have a tan model, which you've seen probably on my channel before, the 5102. Those are the 2 models left for return refurbished from the eBay seller that I'm going to link below. And other than that, you can get new ones. So Amazon has a new one. I believe Stamina Products, which is where AeroPilates is the manufacturer of AeroPilates, I believe they still have a 5-cord. And there is a 5-cord on eBay. And all of those models on Amazon, eBay, and Stamina Products, except for the refurbished colored ones, are a black carriage and a white frame. And those are 5-cords. And they also all have 5 black cords, whereas the return refurbished models have 2 blacks, 2 reds, 1 yellow. You can always upgrade the cords, but to spend a little less money, a return refurbished unit, to me, they've always been just like new. Maybe some light scratches and some light marks. They've included all the pieces. They're guaranteed to work through the seller that I'm linking below. So I really think it's a great way to go. This is the Premier model. Now, this is the newest Premier model. I think it's only even been out a couple months. That it's been manufactured, and it's the 701, Premier 701. You are used to seeing the Premier 700, which I believe they manufactured in 2011, and it's been so popular that they keep manufacturing it. And the great thing about the Premier model is that it comes with a stand. Now, right now, because of price gouging and because of supply and demand, you are not going to find a Premier model with a stand for a good deal at all. It's still going to be cheaper to buy any of these models and buy their stand separately. But usually this is an all-inclusive package and it's cheaper to buy it all-inclusive. Not the case right now because of what's going on. I think the manufacturer is completely out of them, and so whoever had them is reselling them now for a little bit of a markup. So that's with these Premier models. But when they are back in stock in the manufacturer, and I have no idea if that's going to happen or when that's going to happen, they come around $500, maybe $500 to $600, and they're all inclusive and they're a great deal. The Premier model, again, is the 4 black cords. It's the widest bed and usually comes with a frame. So let's talk about the frame. If you need a frame, this all-inclusive model would be great if you could find it at the actual retail value, which is going to be really difficult now. If not, you can buy a 5-cord, but the 5-cord frames right now, the large frames, are sold out. I don't know when they're going to be back. I haven't seen them anywhere, and I've checked multiple websites. You might be able to find a used one or an overpriced one on eBay. So that's your option if you still want the 5-cord, and you could still probably stay under the price of this price gouge Premier if you buy a refurbished 5-cord and a large stand off of eBay. So that's an option. Other than that, your 4-cord models, the stand is still available. You will pay $150 or less for it if you're paying, the retail amount, okay? If you're paying higher, if there's some price gouging, then, you might pay more. So in the end, this machine right now, not this particular model, but the smaller 4-cord with a medium stand, which is what these 2 small models go with, the medium stand. These 2 larger models go with the large stand. You're going to save money getting the 4-cord with the medium stand than getting the Premier just right now until those come back into stock. And a stand is necessary if you do not want your model on the floor. And even if you are fine, like you can get on and off the floor, the stand is still a really nice upgrade so that you just don't have to get up and down off the floor. And there are some more advanced exercises you can eventually do, which I don't really know. I'll look them up. But there's some more advanced exercises that you can do if you have a stand. If you want the most resistance, you're going to go with the 5-cord model, although the 4-cord models are only a 1.5 cord equivalent behind. So 6 cords, 6 cords if you change them all out to red, and for the 5-cord, 7.5 cords if you change them all out to red. And that's if you're really wanting to build bulk. But really, the machines as they come are wonderful. They're going to get you a lot of range. You're going to have a lot of things that you can do with them. There are also videos on demand I want to mention on the staminaproducts.com. If you go to shop, one of their second to last menu, I believe, is on demand video. Click in there, and most of those are AeroPilates videos, and you can, just choose all the different things that you want to work or try for a cost and have endless workouts on that on demand. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments and leave those below. And I will see you next time on Everything AeroPilates. Thanks, guys. Bye.